Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. We are back for F1 24 driver career mode for round 11 of the Austrian Grand Prix, the second of the triple header. Obviously we are in the middle of a triple header weekend, obviously in the game, but also in real life when the time I'm recording this. I'm recording this obviously before the weekend of the British Grand Prix. But anyways, check out the last video. Please go check that out below. It was around Spain. That was round 10. That was pretty eventful. That was a spoiler blocker for you, but yeah, it hasn't been looking so great. So we need to bounce back, and especially through this track right here around Austria. It's going to be a sprint weekend this weekend, I believe. So I'm not looking forward to that. I don't really like the new sprint format. I do, but I don't, because again, it just takes forever. But to get through everything, you just want to get to the main race on Sunday. But yeah, so sprint weekend, here we come. But well, the ERS upgrade that we were supposed to come on, the minor ERS upgrade, that has actually failed. So we pushed that back to, I believe, Hungaroring. I'm gonna probably put this on. I really was hoping this would go on though, because I wanted to focus on some weight reduction, but also, you know, maybe do some rear downforce on the Halo, considering that well, I like to get some drag reduction upgrades, especially those wing mirrors, because what we need those. But yeah, here's the result that we're looking at. A wet sprint. It's gonna be raining during the sprint race, and the rest of the weekend should be dry. So yeah, it kind of always rains in the Styrian Mountains, and well, it's gonna be like that during the sprint. So yeah, but we get some resource points, and as we head into sprint quali, I'm hoping that everything goes well, because well, we need a positive weekend. So yeah, we keep going forward, but yeah, let's get ready for the sprint quali.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
This is the track, obviously a short lap around here, so this is going to be the fastest, like Crofty said, the fastest laps, I believe, of the entire calendar. And well, this track's got its perks. One, great track, phenomenal racetrack, I really love it. But the bad news is, well, track limits. Flat curbs, once again, obviously this is more of a MotoGP track, obviously the Red Bull Ring, so you know, we're kind of in that situation where we got to keep an eye on track limits. But thankfully, around this place, when I did the league racing last year's game when we had strict corner cutting, it actually felt pretty good. I can kind of stay within the lines, and I think it's just because maybe it's just the way that I am, but I think I've been getting a little bit better with track limits and just staying within the lines. So yeah, obviously this track, horrible when it comes to going over curbs and stuff. But yeah, there's a 105, basically 105 flat around SQ1. Gasly is setting P11. Again, car felt pretty hooked up around here. I'm not complaining. I mean, again, Austria's always been a track where I feel like the AI are not that strong, I feel like, and it's mainly the player. But yeah, it was a pretty good lap. Obviously, they updated the format too, so you can go mediums. Obviously, real life it's 2 mediums, and then you go soft tires. But now it's 2 mediums and soft. So you could SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. You could just go complete soft tires, and that wasn't how the format was. But we go again, and we had a massive slide. We touched the inside curb there. You cannot touch that inside curb, and what we felt the consequences of touching that, so we back off. But we were improving by 0.2, but no one else really improved behind us, and we're fairly into Q2. P6, put a almost about a 10th off of pole position, almost 0.2. Gasly gets here, but there's your bottom 5. Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, Nico Hulkenberg, Valtteri Bottas, and Logan Sargent. So yeah, the same bottom 5 are going out. Haas and Sauber are kind of fighting to be the worst car on the grid in this save. Obviously, that's not what you want to see, but obviously Haas has been a pretty good car, I'd say, and well, they just came off a great result from Austria, so I thought they'd maybe be up there fighting for, you know, maybe a point or two, but I guess not. But yeah, second run on the medium tire. This was obviously brand new set Obviously, everyone gets a brand new set. Pretty good lap. We go again, and we found about a whole second, almost a second run. To be fair, we did get stuck into someone's dirty air that lap, especially the beginning part of the lap. Defensively, they got out the way, but yeah, that was a good lap, and that actually put us P1 for SQ2. So I'm happy with that. Thank you for that, genuinely. Yeah, good lap, but Pierre is unfortunately he's out of SQ2, so Stroll also out as well. So we knocked out Lance Stroll, and we knocked out both RBs and also the Williams. So yeah, we are looking pretty good for SQ3, and SQ3 is looking pretty positive. And this is the only run that we're gonna do. I only do one run in SQ3. I don't feel like there's any point of doing two runs. I feel like one is just good enough. But that first run was track limits, and we actually got really affected because that in the next lap. So the best run we could have had got shafted, but we go again. And this lap is going to have to matter all or nothing, so let's take a lap around the Red Bull Ring. Obviously, I've done a lot of laps around here, especially when I did my my performance test on who had the fastest car in the game. So if you've not checked that out, please go check that out below. That would be greatly appreciated if you want to see what my testings were compared to what Marcel Kiefer's was. Obviously, I will check that out video below if you want to. But let's get back to the career mode. So yeah, about almost half a second up. Obviously, again, the car feels really good around here, especially some corners. But this is a really good lap. Obviously, we're finding a lot of time now because obviously the track limits penalty came into effect. But we're finding a lot of time, and this is looking like a pole run. It's feeling like a dark horse to get pole position, but we push all the way to the end. Let's not cut the corner this time, but we're going to come across the checker flag now. Where is this going to put us? Is this going to be P1 now? This is a good lap. Is it going to be P1? I don't know if it is. Take a look. Oh, it's P2. Damn, man, I tried. That was a good lap, though. Really good lap, and actually put us P2, so I will take that. I am not complaining about that. I don't know what the gap is, but I want to see the gap. But it was a really strong run, wasn't it? And well, 2/10. Okay, 2/10 off pole. I could have gone faster, but only at 104.2. So that's the fastest we could have gotten, I guess you could say. So that's unfortunate, but we keep going, and that's good where we line up in the sprint. You have to score points in the sprint race, so hopefully we can score points, but we got some fast guys behind us, considering we have Alonso, Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, and the two Mercedes. So, yeah, we wait and see, I guess you could say. But, well, let's get ready for the sprint. Let's hope for some points.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Cowboy completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Zhou, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Bottas, and Logan Sargent. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, a man small in stature but big on comment, Anthony Davidson. Hello. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? what do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Welcome to the grid, and it is wet, very wet, and very wet to the point where we're going full wets. There was a thing that I heard that inters are better in the wets. I don't know if that's true. I'm thinking about it. And, well, it wouldn't be a bad gamble, surely, to be fair. The rain is supposed to calm down towards the end of the sprint. But, I mean, I don't know. It's full wets completely, and to be fair, no one has really... I don't know how long it's been raining here in Styria, obviously, so... But yeah, everyone else going wets... And it's hard to judge on what I want to do, but I think we just go full wets and we send it completely. Yeah, again, it was a hard decision, but I think the wet tire would just be easier. And again, 12 laps around here, we hope for a good result. I have a feeling that a red flag could come, depending on how bad the rain is going to be. But anyways, let's hope not, because that's going to shaft our race. Here we go for the 5 red lights here around the Styrian Mountains here. 12 laps and lights out, and away we go for the sprint race. And Verstappen cuts us off perfectly, but we're going to go around the outside. So he's defended the inside completely. He did not want us getting around us. And Lando Norris, he was thought about to move down the inside, but unfortunately he kind of backed out of that. Obviously, we're not very strong within the wet. The wet is not really my strong point. I'm better on inter conditions compared to full wet conditions, I will say that. Really struggle for grip around the full wets, but Verstappen, he's got clean air, he is gone, and Verstappen is cooking, to be fair. Red Bull Ring is one of his best tracks, I have a feeling, so of course is really going to help him out a lot, but yeah, so compared to us, we don't really have the pace with Max, but we have really good pace this weekend, and the car is really hooked up to this track very well. So yeah, but here comes Lando, and at the end of lap 1, what Lando is, he's gaining a lot of time, and to be fair, that Red Bull should be pretty quick. So I don't think, not the Red Bull, the McLaren should be pretty quick. So I don't see why he can't get around us. But he goes down the inside. He's thinking about it, but we cut him off. And I thought he would have gone for more, but I guess not. So he was thinking about it, but he just didn't went for it. So not a complete send by Lando. So we keep going forward. But we have a yellow flag, though. Someone is slow. That is one of the Aston. I believe it is Alonso. That is Alonso who is slow. So we keep going. So Fernando Alonso is retiring from the Austrian sprint race as we keep heading on towards lap 3 now. And again, the conditions are not too bad, thankfully. We can actually keep it on track, which is good. No penalties, obviously, whatsoever as well. But, well, that is not what I expected. A red flag has came out. A red flag already. And this is for Alonso. Unless the rain is too bad and they just called a red flag, but again, I don't feel like the rain was not too bad. I could tolerate it. Unless it's just because he's in a dangerous spot. You could have easily thrown out a VSC there. But okay, so well, we go again. So well, the rain's calmed down a lot, so we're gonna go inters. Because, again, I mean, there might go full wets, but I'm going inters, and look how much the rain has calmed down a lot. It's calmed down a lot, but here we go for the second 5 red lights, and here we go, lights out, away we go for the second time, and this time we got a horrendous start, and it was not a good start. I wish you could do the formation lap under a red flag, but you can't, so that kind of sucks, but we keep going, and not a great start as Piastri's going to pounce on us there once again. And the two McLarens have pounced all over us compared to us. Obviously, to be fair, they're on the wet tires. We're on inters, so we might struggle a little bit, but the inters are going to come into us, so we will hopefully cook up a feast after that. But it's only on lap 5. We're sitting pretty comfortable within the sprint race on P4. You were saying P2, but if we could just get points, that's all I care about. Any sorts of points we can get, I will take, and we would need points, to be fair. We need to beat the allegations of not being consistent, and we need to bag in some results because well, maybe the team's been happy, but I don't feel like I deserve an extension here right now, considering that I have been pretty inconsistent this year. That's kind of one thing for sure. But we keep going, and well, we got I think that was a slow Ferrari. Someone has had enough, and someone has had enough. We got a yellow flag. There's another red flag. A huge crash has taken place, though. That is a massive crash behind us. And it looks like my teammate Pierre has got into it too. He was in the middle of this. That is Sainz going slow in the Ferrari, and there goes Pierre right into the back of him, and a huge crash. He caught up Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, even the Mercedes got involved. The RB Ricardo got sent in there. Huge crash on lap 5 of the sprint race, and this has been chaotic. The sprint races are always chaotic, and you're seeing it right then and there. And, well, now everybody's going to go inters. Everybody's going inters. So, yeah, for the third and hopefully the final time, lights out and away we go for the third and hopefully the final restart here of the sprint race here. Decent start, thankfully, ahead, but we have the inside. We get spun out by Lance Stroll. Stroll has spun us completely. I don't know what happened there. Some contact was made. I don't know what Stroll was doing. I don't know what happened there. I thought I gave him space. No. And we have just absolutely gone from hero to zero. And that was horrendous. Did I cut him off completely? Oh, I think I cut. Oh, that might have been my mistake. But to be fair, I thought he would go more on the outside. He knew I was coming. Why didn't he back out, though? Did he stick his nose in there? I don't know how I feel about that. Well, we keep going. Well, and you think the sprint couldn't get worse, but we've been completely shafted. So now we got to fight through within the grid. But 2 and 1 in turn 1. Thank you very much. Tsunoda and Hulkenberg, they're fighting. And now next up, Zhou Guan Yu. Well, Stroll's in the pits. Someone else also got collected. I believe that was Kevin Magnussen who also got collected. But now we fight back for points. We're on inters. Everyone else is on inters, so we're kind of in the bin. But we keep going. And I believe the guys that are up there for points, I believe that is Bottas, Ricardo, and I believe that's Bottas, Ricardo, and that is Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg's in the last. Hulkenberg's he's in the points. And that's not Hulkenberg. That's Matt. I get so confused. I'm sorry. I just assume Hulkenberg. I assume Hulkenberg just had a max all the time. But we're gonna move on to Albon. But Hamilton, he is struggling really bad. Like really bad, to the point where he looks like he's got nothing. And his teammate Russell has been very strong. But yeah, look at this. We got a nice battle though for basically the positions that don't matter. There's just minor places. If we go down the inside, I thought about going down the inside. I guess that was Hamilton trying to make a move. And I believe that was Logan Sargent. So yeah, on lap 10 though, we keep going and we have to keep pushing ourselves forward completely. I need to get around them pretty quickly because I can't stand around this pack anymore. I gotta get moves done, and we need to get this done if we want points. And again, I really would like points here, to be fair. And again, that mistake was maybe all my fault, but what could have been a great result has been completely kind of shafted. So I'm kind of praying that more mistakes happen up front. The AI tend to make more mistakes in the wet, to be fair, but Hamilton thinking about a move on Sargent, but the Sargent chops him off completely. Again, he completely bullied Lewis. We got very, very excited through that part, and we completely just slammed on the brakes and lost the back end there. But they're telling me to pit on a 3-stop strategy. No, thank you. I will stay out. Thank you very much. I want to go inters, and well, you can kind of suck it. You know what I mean? You can suck it. Because screw your strategy, Mark. I'm not doing it. Fighting against Alpine Team Motors. But Hamilton and Sargent, they're side by side. They're fighting for position now. This is the moment where we can capitalize. We have to burn some overtake, maybe some hot lap. I want to burn more hot lap. And to be fair, we don't have much battery left, so we have to use it though. But I'm thinking about a send though. We go down the inside on Logan Sargent, but we lose the back end there through a little bit of a drift there. Over the curb, too. I thought that would have been at track limits, but that was a nice drift. And we get around Logan. Let's take a look at that. That was a good drift. Praise on me for that one. That was pretty nice. So you see the inside. Completely lost the back end, but look at the drift. Look at the speed. Look at the apex. That's clean. That's clean, mate. But Verstappen wins the sprint. He finished ahead of Norris and also Perez, but that unfortunately just was not great from us. And well, we might have had a cool drift, but we couldn't get close to Hamilton at the end, so it's going to be a P11. Oh, I don't know what to say. But yeah, that is P11 for the sprint. What could have been? We had to get around him, Ricciardo, and Magnussen for points. That's all we had to do. But unfortunately, costly mistake. It happens. It's racing. But yeah, I'm not very happy with the way that kind of happens. So yeah, it sucks. But well, we'll just have to go again. And well, as we get ready for the main qualifying, I hope it's better, I guess you could say. So yeah, but rating goes down a little bit, kind of what I expected. I want to get to 72 by the end of this race. That is the goal. But yeah, let's go focus on main qualifying, shall we?
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Alrighty, back on regular schedule. Back to where a schedule should be, because sprint races are dumb and stupid. End of discussion. But yeah, here we go, ready for qualifying here. Q1, Q2, Q3. Thankfully, we have enough time too, so we're not like under pressure to like deliver a lap straight away. But we keep going, and well, to be fair, felt really good. Really hooked up to the track, I will say that. To be fair, I've always been pretty hooked up around here. Never really had any issues in qualifying, but yeah, the sprint was not what we talk about, but we keep going for the afternoon session, and well, that was a good lap, very good lap, and puts us ahead of Pierre Gasly, so I'll take that. But I think I don't think we need to go out there again, because well, that was just a good lap, and well, we stay the same, and well, P11, obviously, again, felt pretty good around here. Pierre's going up into P9, so good for him. We get ahead of Russell. We were behind Russell, but yeah. But there's your bottom five: Hulkenberg, Albon, Sargent, Bottas, and Guan Yu. So, Guan Yu once again. Same bottom five. They're always out every weekend. No offense. Magnussen gets in. Both the RBs get in. Stroll, being Stroll, gets in as well. So yeah, we going for Q2. Second lap and well, first lap, and well, that's a track limits violation because we completely cut the curb, and you can get around us, so no, don't worry, and we go again. And again, I haven't really had any track limit violations really much this weekend. Practice was been I kind of used all my limitations, but I've been doing a pretty good job of staying within the track limits, and especially around this place where flat curbs are not very helpful. But yeah, that second run was a great lap, and that puts us P2, and that we're into Q3, and well, we should be, because that was a good lap. I will take that. A really good lap, and we're not even far off pole. That's only about almost 4/100ths of a second off. That's not even bad. That's close. That is very close. But yeah, there's your bottom five: Hamilton, Russell, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, and Magnussen. Stroll, Norris, Perez, Sainz, Gasly. There's your top five, basically. So yeah, well, we push forward for Q3, and well, hopefully Q3 is better, because you know, pole position. Once you see pole position to your grasp, you want to go for it. So yeah, but credits to Gasly too, man, to get into Q3. That's very impressive. He should be very happy with that. But yeah. Anyways, we go into Q3, and again, we're gonna do 2 runs. Obviously, we saved the second set. I usually only go for one run at the end of Q3, but I saw the opportunity and I took it. So we go forward, and well, so far, I mean, it's again, I've hooked up around this track very well. Car feels good. Feels really good. I have no complaints whatsoever. But P6 first run, Leclerc, Sainz, they kind of got a really good lap that first time, but we got out for 2 laps, just in case, only because track limits seemed to bite us at the end, and to be fair, everyone else really going to improve. But yeah, really strong turn 1, almost about 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths on that start. That was actually a really good turn 1, and we now approach up into turn number 3. Obviously, very tricky braking point to get right, and a little bit of a back end loss through that part. Again, that part's been very tricky to get right. Obviously, I feel like the curb on the inside hasn't really been... I feel like the curb maybe could receive a little bit of an update, obviously, because, well, it's not very realistic, but we keep going forward. And 2 tenths down still on this lap. Again, Sector 3, Sector 2, I think, is where the car really struggles a little bit. But overall, at the end of that, we feel really strong after, but a little bit wide. It's not looking like a good lap. We might have to go recharge and do a second lap again, but I don't know if we even have enough to do a second run in Q2. But we go again, and judging by the end of this lap, I don't know where it's going to put us, but we found 2 tenths improvement, so hopefully that puts us up into P4, and that did. But I'm thinking about maybe a recharge. I guess not, as I think we're set in stone, and we are, because that's P4. I'll take that. Thank you. That was actually really good. I'm not even mad about that. That's a really good position for tomorrow. And Alonso is starting P2. Fernando Alonso is cooking in the Aston. Not in real life, but in the game, he's cooking. Gasly goes P9. So yeah, that's a pretty strong qualifying. Both Mercs were out. That both Alpines get ahead of the Mercs, so kind of similar to paper. But yeah, well, let's see what happens. But yeah, let's go into the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Cowboy completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Albon, Sargent, Bottas, Joe, and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Welcome to the grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. 36 laps around the Red Bull Ring. Gonna be... Well, judging by the way that the sprint went, the pace is pretty good, so I expect to be up there with the big boys, so the Ferraris and the Astons and the McLaren and the Red Bull, obviously probably Verstappen, but yeah, it's looking to be a pretty good race. We're going to go to the medium to the hard strategy. It's the preferred strategy around here. Everybody else looks like they're going to be going the same strategies as Pierre Gasly starts P7, so good for him. But yeah, starting P2 should be a good race. But we have the 5 red lights now. Here we go, 36 laps around Austria. It's gonna be a great race. Here we go, 5 red lights and away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. We get a decent start, but Norris ultimately got a better start. We actually made some contact with Lando a little bit on the around the outside, but he's got there. And Pierre Gasly with a rocket ship. Gasly, what a start the Frenchman's had. He's up to He was P7. He's up to P3 now. What a start from Gasly. Here goes Norris on Charles Leclerc, though. We got an amazing fight for P1 up there, but man, what a start by Pierre Gasly. That man came like a rocket, but Piastri thought about a send down the inside. He ultimately backed out of that one. Lance Stroll capitalized on that move. But, yeah, what a start. That was a crazy race start to begin with anyways. But, wow, Pierre Gasly has, man, what a, what a start he had for the Frenchman. But, yeah, Norris and Leclerc, they're going to be mainly the guys I'm going to be focused on. I think that is our race compared, so I think we have the ability to fight with the top guys, so that is good, but at the same time we got to manage the pace and manage the tires through this stint. This track doesn't really wear too much on the tires, thankfully, so that's good news, so we should be good. A little bit of missed the apex a little bit of understeer, just in the dirty air of Gasly, but yeah, very exciting. But on lap 2 now, there's some action up there with the front between Leclerc and Norris. Obviously, they're pretty good. They're pretty good friends. Obviously, back in the Twitch quartet back in 2020 COVID times. But there goes Norris around the outside of Charles Leclerc. Leclerc thought about fighting that back. Well, he probably was going to fight that back, but ultimately got ahead. And Leclerc sits for second, and Norris will capitalize as he started on pole position, and he's going to take that pole position back. So credit to you, Lando. But yeah, Gasly's also getting in there fight as well. Piastri's got around Stroll. Verstappen is back there as well, something to keep an eye on. So he will probably be flying by through this field sooner than later. But yeah, there's like 2 gaps right now. Obviously, there's the top 6. And then you got that bottom 5 down there between the RBs, the Haas, and the Williams, and the Saubers. So they got that fight down there. But we're up here with the fight, and me and Gasly are running in a very good position, I'd say, for Alpine. Big points are available this weekend. Obviously, both had a horrible sprint race. Me and Gasly both had a pretty abysmal sprint race, but so far we've been doing pretty good. Outside that sprint race. But we have a yellow flag, though. I believe that is one of the Kick Saubers that is retiring from the race, and I think that might be Valtteri Bottas or Zhou Guanyu. It's one of the 2 of those, and hopefully no safety car comes out. I mean, safety car comes out, that'd be huge, but there's no point, and that is Bottas out of the session. So Valtteri is out, but on lap 6 now, you can see there's a mess. That train that is forming, it's a big train. You got everybody's in here, basically, besides the slower teams in the back, but this big train is kind of the theme of this sums up the racing in F1 24 with the air. But there goes Lando Norris down the inside of Charles Leclerc, and Leclerc's going to fight that around the outside. Here comes Norris back. He thought about a switchback, honestly, but they're still right side by side. Norris has DRS. Leclerc does not have DRS. I don't think Leclerc or DRS. They're still side by side, but taking a look through this pack now, it's a pretty strong pack all the way back there. But on lap 7 now, we keep going forward. They want me to team orders down at Alpine. They want me to overtake Gasly by lap 11. Clearly, my pace is a little bit faster than Pierre's, I'm assuming. But Norris and Leclerc, they're fighting side by side. We're going to race our teammate, though. We get the objective done, but I have a feeling that Gasly might go around the outside. There goes Norris around the outside. He makes it move. We get a little bit of a twitchy back in there a little bit sketchy on the braking, but Gasly with the better traction. Obviously, his line was a little bit better than mine. He gets that exit done. We're still racing them side by side. I wonder if we're going to, thinking about it, I decided to let him go. I thought he was going to defend the inside. No, he doesn't. But we'll stay back and honestly watch this happen. I'm fine with totally staying back for a little bit. I'll calculate when the move is right. But there goes Norris on Charles Leclerc. They're still racing for the race lead, but that actually didn't help Gasly. He got his exit a little bit compromised, but we got DRS now. But it didn't matter of fact of who gets around him whatsoever. But we got an amazing run on Gasly. Ultimately, we back out of that one. Norris around the outside of Leclerc once again. Common fight for up into turn number 3. They've been fighting all day, and Norris gets ahead. And this battle is kind of helping Stroll out and also me. I mean, it could also benefit Gasly if he thinks about a move, but Gasly's got some good slipstream on the back of those 2 guys. Gasly might go down the inside of Lando Norris, though, or Charles Leclerc, that is my bad. He got up to P2. Pierre Gasly's cooking, but Leclerc gets a better exit than Gasly. They're still side by side all the way down, and Leclerc stays ahead once again. Man, what a race that it's been so far. It's been non-stop action for the race lead, but again, this squabbling is just going to bring this pack closer to us, which is not ideal because we're trying to break the toe, but we got an amazing slipstream here on Gasly though once again, but Gasly defends the inside, so we're going to have to get around him the hard way. And thinking about the outside move, oh, fair and nice and clean out. He left the cars with, which is good, but still racing Gasly now. We're going to go have the racing line now, and we're going to go around the outside. I'm thinking about it because Gasly's going to have the inside line, but we'll have a better exit than us. He's got the DRS detection point, I believe, so he's going to have a better exit than what we do. If we're still side by side for P number 3, this is the battle for the podium, obviously, right now. Two of our teammates fighting it out. Gasly, obviously, with the DRS, but we're still fighting around the outside. Gasly's got the inside, we got the outside line. Who's going to get out of that? He got a better exit, but we also got a better exit. We're dumping a little bit of hot lap now, and we have the inside line. Gasly's going to have to back out of that one, and he will back out of that. What a battle that was. What a battle that we are having with our teammate. That's how you race, Ocon. You don't crash into your teammate. See, that's why you got fired. But anyways, on lap 13 now. Honestly, at this point, that battling did not help us because it kind of backed us off from Leclerc and Norris. But we're still in a good position. I'm confident we'll catch them up during a pit stop or anywhere. I'm confident we will catch up to them, and judging by that, we did catch up to them. Our pace is really strong around here. I feel like this track has always been a player track compared to AI, though, in my opinion. But we're capitalizing, thankfully, and this is helping us out a lot. But yeah, on lap 16 now, pit window is open. No one came into the box this time, so we're gonna get a very feisty pit lane between Leclerc and Norris. So I wonder if those two are gonna come in. Gasly will have the race lead on this stop. Give credits when credit's due to Lance Stroll. I know he's my enemy, or my rival, I consider that, but he's up there in the P5 in the Aston, so give credit when credit's due. Congrats to you, Lance. You're doing a good job. And let's see who's coming into the pits now. I believe everybody's going to be coming into the pits. Not everybody, but I expect a whole good train of people coming in. So Leclerc, Norris, and me. I come into the pits, and anybody else that will. So we got to get out of this pit lane pretty easily. Hopefully we don't get held up by the Williams if they are coming. We get held up by the McLaren a little bit because McLaren was coming up, but we actually got ahead of Charles Leclerc. So Leclerc got compromised on his stop because he probably had to yield for someone coming out the pit lane. But that helped us out a lot, so that puts us P2. Provisionally P2, depending on if Stroll or Gasly overcut us, which I doubt it. I mean, I just doubt it. Obviously, I think the undercut is pretty powerful around here, too. The undercut is pretty powerful around here. You can easily capitalize on that, but ultimately, we'll see what happens. But Gasly comes into the pits now. Everybody's come basically into the pit lane now, so I don't know where we're going to stack up after this, but we set a purple sector too, so I can see possibly P2. Lance Stroll coming at the exit. A little bit of a slide on the exit. And Stroll, my bad, Stroll actually gets, I thought he was going to fight that. I thought he was gonna get us on the exit, but he almost did. But we had that had that massive slide, but he didn't. He's behind Leclerc, so Stroll is up there. Stroll is having a really good weekend. Obviously, me and him had our incident in the sprint, but ultimately, this is helping us out a lot. At this point, if we can just get a podium, this would be huge in the Alpine, and especially with this car. I mean, this car has been getting pretty faster, but to be fair, with a weekend where we're not really bringing many upgrades, it's kind of we have some upgrades, but we don't really have any major upgrades coming onto the car to push us up into the big teams. So we wait and see. But oh, we lost the exit a little bit there. That was tight, but we lost the exit quite a lot. And Leclerc and Norris are still going to be fighting for the P1, but we're keeping this fight with Leclerc. Norris is pulling a huge gap away. Gasly got compromised on the exit on the pit lane. He had to get held back, so he is down there behind the man that's charging up this field, Max Verstappen. He set the fast lap of the race. Verstappen is charging. He's like an angry bull. He's coming for the race win. He's trying to ruin our hopes of winning another race for Alpine. Obviously, we run earlier this year in Monaco, but we're trying to get another win, and especially in the triple header, this would be huge. Considering to be fair, heartbreak last weekend with Gasly, Hart, and no pace from my side last weekend. It was a bit sad on my side, but we're here to bounce back, and we're making it happen right now. So still sitting here in P3. We're just kind of managing the pace at this point, managing the tires, sitting behind Leclerc, Verstappen has now in that window, but we have a yellow flag. I think that's the race leader. That is Lando Norris. That is Norris. Norris has got an issue. Is he's got a puncture? Is he got? He's out. Norris is out of the Grand Prix. He has an engine issue. So now this lead has just basically turned into the fight for P1. What a race that it's been so far on lap 22. The heartbreak for Lando Norris and McLaren, but that helps us out immediately. And Lance Stroll is on the podium for Aston Martin, and we got to pounce now. And I have the outside line of Charles Leclerc. We get that move done. We get ahead of Leclerc. What a move that was around the outside. Leclerc thought about fighting it all the way up in turn 2 and turn 3. Ultimately could not fight that all the way through, so he backs out of that, and now it's just going to be a DRS train once again. But Verstappen got around Stroll, and now he's got DRS from Leclerc. And now we just, at this point, I want some clean air because the engine was getting pretty hot, and I couldn't really sit behind Leclerc for too much longer. Thankfully, we had about about 2 laps to get the engine nice and cool. But at this point, Leclerc gets right back around us, and at this point, I did tire management, and I just lifted and coasted, honestly, using my tires for the best part of this race, which would be maybe towards the last 2 laps, and especially towards the last lap, which I would want to be second. I would not want to be first, mainly because 3 DRS detection points. Obviously, they run down into turn 1. It doesn't really matter. It's the run down to turn 2 and turn 3 that are going to be important, especially turn 3 because the detection line is right at the braking zone. So you want to be behind. You want to be behind the driver instead of ahead of him because you'll get a better opportunity to capitalize on that. But here comes Leclerc now, and Leclerc is well, he's been pretty fast, but I thought that might have been track limits. We just stayed in. There's been a glitch going on. I've been heard that randomly during a race weekend you'll randomly have a glitch where the game just, you have strict track limits and the game just doesn't register strict track limits. So I don't know what's that all about. Obviously I made the change since 23. I'm running strict corner cutting rules to make it a little bit harder for me, but also, to be fair, staying within the track limits is kind of one of my goals instead of sending it everywhere and all that stuff. It's been easier for me to stay in the track limits on wheel compared to what I was on controller. It was difficult to do that, but we keep going. And well, sitting back here on Leclerc now, just kind of watching what Leclerc is doing. I mean, again, managing the pace at this point is crucial, but again, we could force Leclerc into a mistake, which is pretty common by them to usually lock up, make a mistake when you put them under pressure. But at this point, I mean, a move could be a move, and we're going to go around the outside of Leclerc. We got the detection point now. Leclerc's pace is not that quick. I feel like I have stronger pace, but since Leclerc is able to stay with us in the DRS, it's kind of useless. So maybe I'm doing this move for no reason, but I'm just going to get around him now, and I want to see if I can maybe try to, let's say, I don't know, let's see what happens. But I mean, I'm just trying to see what the pace is in clean air, but Leclerc is just, once again, he just stays in the DRS range and get right around us, and he moved a little bit under braking, but he made it fair. So just a little bit, but it's all good because he didn't break anything he left the cars with, which Leclerc is probably one of the more guys that you'll race fairly, one of the guys that will race you very, very clean in real life, but also his AI is doing a good job. So yeah, lap 31 now, 5 laps to go, very much under this lane, and Leclerc makes a mistake. We put Leclerc under pressure. Now he is side by side with Max Verstappen for second place, and that has helped us out a lot as we were able to kind of pull a 1.3 second gap. What did we have just done? That is crazy. I didn't expect that, but man, I didn't even put Leclerc in a stake, but Lance Stroll is on the podium. Lance Stroll's got a podium for Aston Martin. Obviously, Alonso's been getting podiums, but man, I haven't seen Stroll on a podium in a minute. He's fighting for a podium. Give credit when credit's due to Lance Stroll, man. You know what they say, give credit when credit's due, and future world champion, as Fernando Alonso has said. But anyways, we keep going, and it was actually our first track limits warning. So track limits does exist. Right at that corner, I'm pushing a little too much, maybe a little bit, but it's okay. That's our first warning of the entire race. So we kept it within the limits for every other lap, which is, I'll give credit when credit's due. That was pretty good. But here goes Verstappen, and we actually do a cheeky tactic here. We let him get I get DRS, but I'm gonna sit behind him for the last 2 laps And this is where I want to be. I want to be second. I don't want to be first because, again, Verstappen can easily just rocket ship right past us for the race lead. I want to stay here because ultimately it's the best decision. But again, he can get DRS and he can burn everything. You know what I mean? He can burn legit everything. So this is basically an opportunity for Verstappen to capitalize. But we keep going, and this is a great position that we're in entirely because, to be fair, I didn't expect to really even be. I mean, I didn't expect us to be up here fighting with the top guys this weekend. I maybe assumed we were going to be in that train, but I didn't expect a race win was going to be on the cards here. But again, we're being smart. DRS detection point. You're going to want DRS on the last lap because it's just the best opportunity to overtake. But the tires are a bit falling off at this stage of time, and well, we're really seeing it now. Last lap of the Grand Prix. Now let's see what happens now coming down up into the run to turn 2 and turn 3. We got DRS, so we're going to burn all the overtake we can, and we're going to get around him. But here's my goal. If he's going to get DRS through here, I'm going to burn all the battery of the run down into turn number 4. Ultimately, it's a better decision. We had a little bit of a mistake there once again, but we burn all the battery. Verstappen, he's probably burning his battery, but again, he can't get close enough. And again, obviously, overtake is pretty powerful in this year's game, and we prove it done. If we get around Verstappen on the last lap of the Grand Prix, honestly, it was smart tactics. I didn't think Verstappen was going to go through it in his mind, but you want to be second. You always want to be second on the last lap here in Austria, but we were able to hold off the pressure from everybody. We forced Leclerc into a mistake that kind of helped us out. I didn't expect to be fighting the 3-time world champion Max Verstappen on the last lap of the Grand Prix, but we are. And obviously, after a difficult weekend up in Spain, we're going to come back and pounce here around Austria, around the Red Bull Ring. We shatter Verstappen's hopes, and we're going to come across checkered flag, and we're going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. What a result!
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win.
To overcome the difficult circumstances they face throughout this race today, Crofty, it's not easy, and it really shows a lot of maturity, and you can use this, you can draw on this as a driver moving forward and boost your confidence through the rest of the championship.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race this was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Alpine team for their excellent win today.
If that doesn't put your name for a drive for next season, I don't know what says that, but what a result. And hopefully that helped us out, possibly secure, well, maybe get an offer from a better team. Obviously Red Bull may have saw that, maybe Ferrari have saw that, maybe Alpine, they've put me in for a contract extension, maybe they've already offered me an extension, who knows. But what a result. I am very happy with that. Sprint weekends seem to be, well, we had bad luck the last 2 sprint weekends, but it looks like around Austria the weekend helped us out, and well, that is an enormous result, a really good result. I will take that. 27 points, not 27 points, 25 points. I was looking at Verstappen's tally. Man, what a result. That wasn't the clean sweep. Verstappen could have got the clean sweep. I think he maybe could have done it. I don't know. But, man, what a result. Pierre comes home, brings in 8 points for the team. P6, that is overall the actual results over the weekend in the sprint race. But Gasly getting a as a P6 on the record. Congrats to him. And Verstappen takes the fast lap. I would have went for it, but I mean, it probably didn't help too much. But yeah, what a result. And let's see where that puts us in the standings. That maybe have overtaken Mercedes, and maybe I think the Mercedes and probably Stroll, and well, we are ahead of Russell and Hamilton. Mercedes have struggled a lot this year. Gasly, with that result, gets 12 points on the board for himself, but yeah, that's a good result for him, and we're now not far from Mercedes. So the battle for P5 is still there with Mercedes, to be fair, who, you know, are maybe you know, maybe Mercedes are seeing that and they're wondering, okay, what we got to do to make the car better, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was a good result. I'm happy about that one. But fortunately, that's all I got in today's video, y'all. Thank y'all for watching this video. Thank you for everyone that's been supporting this series, this channel, everybody that's been giving me the support. I've seen mostly all the comments. I've tried to reply to every single one of y'all. I appreciate you guys so much for all the support you guys have done to this channel. And that's all for me today. Have a good rest of your day, y'all. Be safe out there. Have a good rest of your week, weekend, or whatever day you're on. And I will see y'all in the next one.